With news that there's a brand new Batman film in the works, starring Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne, fans everywhere have a whole lot of questions concerning what we can expect from this new cinematic adaptation. Will it be more like the Christopher Nolan trilogy? Will everything be completely rebooting? And who will Batman's foes be? The latter question is one we aim to break down today by the process of hypothetical elimination, with our list of the top 10 villains too scary for the Batman. I mean, they could probably make the adaptation, but maybe not as a first film. Some of them are pretty terrifying, so let's get to it. And at number 10, Victor ZSASZ. Victor ZSASZ is a serial killer that we've only seen adapted into live action once, in the Gotham series. And to be frank, he's really not all that scary compared to his comic or even video game counterparts. Every time ZSASZ kills a victim, he gives himself a new mark on his flesh. His skin is covered in scars, one for each of the lives that he's taken. And by the looks of it, he's arguably one of Gotham's most efficient killers. He had been born wealthy, but after his parents died, he gambled all of his money away and fell into a depression in which he realized that life was pointless. So he decided that he'd go around murdering people for fun instead, something that became a full-time job of his. Moving on to number 9, Jason Todd. For us to see Jason Todd exist in the world of the Batman, that would mean we would need to witness something else. One of Batman's Robins getting murdered, in one of the most brutal ways possible thanks to the Joker, with a crowbar after experiencing a severe beatdown from the Clown Prince of Crime's thugs. That would definitely be a bold move, and seeing Jason Todd come back from the dead would be quite frightful. While we don't think Jason as Red Hood would make for a terrifying villain in general, it's all about the context in this case. And when it comes to Jason Todd, his backstory is one that we do not want to relive anytime soon up on the big screen. Moving on to number 8, the Mad Monk. The Mad Monk, also known simply as the Monk, is one of Batman's earliest foes, having first appeared in Detective Comics issue 31 back in 1939, created by Bob Kane and Gardner Fox. Initially, he was depicted as a vampire who wore a red monk outfit. Later on, it's established that Batman believes the monk isn't actually a vampire, but rather uses hypnosis to manipulate his victims and foes. The monk was then reinvented decades later, into a post-Civil War plantation owner in New Orleans who was subjected to a voodoo ritual by his vengeful ex-slaves. He ends up transforming into an undead version of himself, and later, when encountering Batman, would turn the Dark Knight into a vampire too, causing Batman to have to be exorcised thanks to a serum. Up next, number 7, the Scarecrow. The Scarecrow's jam is literally fear. He uses a toxin that causes his victims to see their worst fears, their most dreadful nightmares, as if they were real and right in front of them. While the Scarecrow has appeared in previous adaptations, specifically Batman Begins, there's always the chance that he would return to this new franchise. But we'd hope that this time around the scare factor would be amped up. Christopher Nolan did a good job with the character, but Scarecrow's abilities could really be pushed further on the big screen, even to the likes of some of the terrifying images that we saw in the Batman Arkham Asylum video game, which may be one of the best boss battles that the series has ever seen. Moving on to number 6, the Court of Owls. While we think that the Court of Owls would make for a fantastic and captivating antagonist in the new Batman film, we also think that their corruption that lurks around every corner of Gotham City may be a bit too intense for a film that relaunches the Batman franchise. But hey, prove us wrong. The Court of Owls first appeared in the New 52 back in Batman Volume 2 Issue 3, which led up to an insane conflict in which they held Batman hostage and the hero had to face his innermost darkness while going mad and trying to escape their labyrinth. They are an organized crime group and secret society that have existed in Gotham since colonial times, kidnapping children performers from the circus and transforming them into assassins. They've got their own army of assassins known as the Talons, who can even be brought back from the dead. So all in all, secret society with links all over Gotham City who have undead assassins? Yeah, pretty scary. And at number 5, the Batman Who Laughs. The Batman Who Laughs is arguably one of the Dark Knight's most threatening foes. He's essentially the combination of the Joker and Batman. All of the Joker's desire for chaos, destruction, and insanity mixed with Bruce Wayne's intellect, strategizing, and technological savvy. It's a killer combination, quite literally. One that occurs in the Dark Multiverse when Bruce Wayne kills the Joker and the Joker's body lets out a toxin that our hero then inhales. He begins to lose his mind, kills off the members of the Bat family, enslaves his Robins, turning them into rabid dogs, then kills off the rest of the Justice League before teaming up with an evil demonic entity to take out the Prime Timeline Batman and destroy the regular multiverse. Yeah, dude is an ambitious villain. He was so popular amongst fans that after the Dark Knight's Metal event in which he first debuted, he stuck around for a solo series that pins him up against Batman in one of the most intense conflicts that Bruce has ever faced. Moving on to number 4, Dr. Death. Oh, what a name. Dr. Death is by far one of the most physically terrifying villains to ever hit the panels of a Batman comic. He is also one of the oldest. Debuting initially in Detective Comics issue 29 back in 1939, the character was Batman's first reoccurring foe, who back in the Golden Age developed a death chemical agent from a pollen extract. He uses this chemical agent to try to extort money from the wealthy citizens of Gotham. He gets real scary though in the New 52, when a new version of the villain appears in Batman issue 25 as part of Batman's 0 year. This time, he was a disgruntled scientist employed by Wayne Enterprises, who ended up murdering several people with a serum which causes uncontrollable bone growth. It's with this retcon that he gets his new upgraded horrific appearance, which is a result of him having tested the serum on himself. Just imagine coming face to face with that in the middle of the night. Yeah. Yikes. And at 3, Cornelius STIRK. STIRK is very similar to the Scarecrow in the sense that he uses fear to manipulate his victims. His abilities allow him to make others see him as someone else in order to trick them and get close to them. He creates hallucinations via telepathy. But here is where it gets creepy. STIRK believes that he needs the nutrients and hormones of human hearts in order to stay alive, and the best way to consume human hearts is to prepare them with norepinephrine, which occurs by inducing fear into the victim prior to their death. He was first sent to Arkham Asylum at the age of 16 for trying to kill a classmate, but manipulated his way out of the asylum after being certified sane thanks to the use of his powers on his doctors. He also isn't a big time villain, so the chances of him actually making it into a Batman movie kinda slim. And at number 2, Professor Pig. Professor Pig is one nasty fellow. First appearing in Batman issue 666, actually, back in 2007, he's been described by creator Grant Morrison as being one of the weirdest, most insane characters that's ever been in Batman. Morrison also stated that it was their intention to make him seem genuinely disturbed and disconnected, and they definitely did that. Pig's name is a play on the actual theater play Pygmalion, in which the protagonist has a desire to transform people into an idealized state. Pig strives to do that, wanting to make people perfect, attempting to release an addictive identity-destroying drug via his Dollotrons, an army of genderless lobotomized humans with masks fused to their faces. He's a skilled surgeon and talented scientist and chemist. In order to make these Dollotrons, he goes to horrific extents. The process is implied to involve brain surgery, genital mutilation, and a cocktail of mind-altering drugs. He's also got hundreds of them, so yeah. Dude is pretty messed up. And finally, in at number 1, the DOLLMAKER. Barton Mathis, aka the DOLLMAKER, is one of the most fucked up villains to appear in DC Comics. Debuting in the New 52 Detective Comics issue 1, the DOLLMAKER was influenced as a child by his father, who took him on hunting trips, in which he witnessed Daddy Dearest killing people and then eating them. He would then see his father get arrested, which he resisted, causing him to be shot by a young James Gordon. Barton was put into foster care, but disappeared after a year, later resurfacing as a criminal called the DOLLMAKER. His mask is made of his dead father's skin. You might see where this is going. His whole shtick is creating dolls out of the skin and limbs of his victims. He is a serial killer, and he's also the one responsible for cutting off the Joker's face, an eerie element from the beginning of the New 52 in which the Joker had his face skin removed. He may not be the most frequent villain of the Dark Knights, but he's still really disgusting nonetheless, and a character that would unfortunately be really easy to believe as a realistic villain in this new cinematic adaptation. Alright, there we have it friends. What villains do you think will make it into this new Batman film? What do you think about Robert Pattinson playing Bruce Wayne? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know your thoughts. If you dug this video, spread the love, hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe to Top 10 Nerd for more lists just like this one. In the meantime though, thanks for watching friends. I'll catch you all in the next video.